This episode is brought to you by our good friend Blake, aka PokeAtmos, who is a top tier patron on Patreon and funded it entirely. Blake has recently started his own channel where he creates Pokemon location-based music videos with Pokemon cries and sounds for a full atmospheric and very nostalgic experience. It's honestly really cool, and he tells me he has even more exciting stuff on the way. Make sure to check out his channel and give him some Sylph Squad love for making this episode possible. Let's see if we can get him to 500 subscribers. The link to his channel will be in the description and pinned comment below. Thanks guys, enjoy the video. The semi-finals of the secondary bracket in the Johto True Power Tournament continues as we try to figure out who will challenge the main bracket champion for the overall grand final. Last time we saw a wicked battle between Elite Four Karen and Gym Leader Jasmine that showed just how strategic these matches can be in the later stages of the tournament and how determined these trainers are to make it to the top. Today we'll have the privilege of seeing Gym Leader Clair of Blackthorn City take on Gym Leader Whitney of Goldenrod in what is sure to be an intense match. Let's head to the team previews to get an idea of how this might go. Clair returns with her Hyper Offense Mono Dragon team, and in this battle she's going to have to really balance her physical and special offenses to deal with Whitney's hyper defensive threats. Whitney on the other hand has perhaps more bulk than anyone in this tournament, although she does have a few speedy threats of her own too. She's going to have to play her defenses right while striking at opportune moments. This truly is an offense versus defense battle, so without any further ado, let's head to the stadium and watch it unfold. And here we go, two very powerful gym leaders going head to head. We've got Whitney of Goldenrod City versus Clair of Blackthorn City. We've got Clefable coming out on Whitney's side of the field. Clefable is a very, very bulky threat and a good choice against Clair's team. However, Clair seems to have kind of accounted for that and gone in with the Gyarados here, a new lead from her for sure. Perhaps realizing that Clefable was Whitney's best choice against her whole team. But now the Gyarados going for the Dragon Dance right away, going to start setting up, perhaps feeling it's relatively safe against Clefable here, and raising its attack and its speed. And now Clefable going for the Stealth Rock. That is a key move, Whitney knowing that almost all of Clair's team is weak to that Stealth Rock and she has no real way to get rid of it. So that is a very, very key move, even despite the Dragon Dance, deciding to go for that Stealth Rock. And here comes another Dragon Dance on Gyarados, attack and speed raising. And now Clefable will try to get some offensive prowess going with the Moon Blast, doing about a third damage on that Gyarados, a good chunk actually. But Gyarados going for the Waterfall now. Waterfall should do a huge amount of damage, over half on the Clefable. Clefable is very physically bulky though, not many things would have lived that, and it does have the Citrus Berry, that is key right there. Going well up above half again. Now perhaps a Waterfall will not kill it on the next turn. Here comes a Moonblast again, doing a good amount of damage yet again. Looks like it might be a 4-hit KO though, and now the Gyarados going for Bounce. Oh, that is a little bit higher power than Waterfall. Clair perhaps realizing that the Bounce might be necessary to take down that Clefable. Let's see how much it can do after two Dragon Dances. Oh, the Clefable does go down. Wow, what a beastly Gyarados that is. And now Whitney sending out the Tauros. She doesn't have anything that can really survive through this Gyarados. So sending out the Tauros and making sure to get the Intimidate off, which will lower the Gyarados' attack at least a little bit. But here comes a Waterfall. Can it survive? Yes, it does, in the red, and able to go for the Stone Edge. That will undoubtedly take down the Gyarados. So that was a key play, a very smart play there by Whitney, realizing most of her Pokemon would not survive that at all. So sending out the Tauros, making sure to get the Intimidate off, that very well might have saved her early on. But of course, Tauros is now at very low health and facing a Garchomp, but the Tauros is going to withdraw here. Perhaps wanting to use that Intimidate later on again because Clair's team is very physically offensive. Oh, but the Garchomp going with the Stealth Rock actually. An amazing play there by Clair, and that Tauros might not survive if it's switched in again. Not quite sure, we'll have to see, but the Garchomp now going for Swords Dance while the Miltank is on the field. Miltank has been an absolute monster throughout this tournament, and going for the Body Slam now on the Garchomp. Perhaps hoping for the Paralysis, but no, getting some good damage off, but no paralysis, and here comes the Swords Dance Stab Earthquake on the Miltank. That is going to do some damage, that is for sure. But the Miltank, as bulky as it is, does survive. Whitney going for another Body Slam. She needs that paralysis, though. No, it's not going to happen. The paralysis would have been key against that Garchomp. She could have outspeed it really easily, even with Miltank, but it looks like the Miltank will be taken down. The Miltank has been thwarted by a Swords Dance Garchomp. This thing is a monster, that is for sure. Now Whitney does have one way to outspeed it, and that is this Chinchino right here. Chinchino, as we've seen, is a very good sweeper, and here comes the tail slap on the Garchomp. Oh, that will definitely take it down. The Garchomp being outsped even as fast as it is. And now the Salamence coming out from Claire's side. Another great play from Claire, because of course the Salamence does have the Intimidate ability, will be able to lower the Chinchino's attack and maybe survive something here. The Salamence did get hurt a lot by the Stealth Rocks though. And here comes the Rock Blast. More rocks to the Salamence. Let's see how many times this hits. 3. Oh, it's going to hit 3 times, so it won't take the Salamence out. And now the Salamence able to go for the Draco Meteor. That is going to be some big damage. Should decimate that Chinchino. Chinchino's defenses are nothing. So that Chinchino going down to the Salamence, the Draco Meteor, that will lower the Salamence's special attack, though, which is key. But that Intimidate was absolutely clutch there, because Whitney's Chinchino actually doesn't have the Skill Link ability. It does have Technician, so it's not guaranteed to hit 5 times. Oh, Whitney sending out the Ursaring, and now the Outrage. Oh, but the Ursaring does survive and is able to go for Facade. So Whitney perhaps falling prey to Salamance's set here. Claire has it set up as a mixed attacker, so perhaps she thought the Ursaring would survive even better because the special attack had been lowered of the Salamence from the Draco Meteor. But all of a sudden it whips out an Outrage and does some huge damage on that Ursaring, of course. And the Ursaring did get poisoned, which means its Quick Feet ability will activate, but the Extreme Speed out-prioritizing it. Ursaring would have otherwise been very, very quick. But, of course, the Extreme Speed able to take it down. Now, here comes the Tauros. Whitney perhaps hoping for the Intimidate. But no, the Tauros will go down to the Stealth Rock. So all of a sudden, Claire's plan is starting to come into fruition here. But now she has to deal with the Blissey. The Blissey is an absolute defensive monster. But Dragonite is a physical attacker, and it's got the Outrage. This should do some huge damage on Blissey. Oh, but it does survive and goes for the Soft-Boiled right away. So Whitney perhaps predicting that and now going for the Soft-Boiled. Maybe she's trying to actually bait the Dragonite now that it's locked into Outrage, using Soft-Boiled and the Leftovers recovery, perhaps just trying to bait the Dragonite into confusion here, and the Dragonite will go for another Outrage. I'm surprised this is not doing as much as I thought. And here comes the confusion now on the Dragonite. All of a sudden, the Dragonite isn't in a great position, even as a physical attacker against a special wall. This Blissey is something else entirely, going for another Soft-Boiled, and it will, of course, get the Leftovers recovery too, almost at full health. And now, all of a sudden, Claire has a confused Dragonite on the field. This is very dangerous. Let's see if we can get an attack off. No, it does hit itself in confusion too. Oh, this is not good. Blissey going for the Toxic now. And all of a sudden, the Blissey starting to turn this match around. The Dragonite is on a timer with the poison now. This is very, very dangerous. Blissey getting some more recovery and is still at full health. And honestly, this is Claire's best bet at taking the Blissey down, but it is really not going well at the moment. And now Claire will switch from the Dragonite, not wanting to take any more confusion damage, and the Toxic's kind of stacking up turn by turn as well. So going into the Kingdra now. Now Kingdra is another bulky Pokemon here. Blissey going for the Soft-Boiled. So this will be an interesting battle here because we got 2 bulky Pokemon on the field. The problem here is the Kingdra doesn't really have any status moves against Blissey, and even if it did, the Blissey does have Heal Bell after all. So let's see how this goes. The Kingdra's going to go for the Hydro Pump. So perhaps what Claire wants to do here is try and bait the Blissey into using all of its Soft-Boiled power points, and that way it can no longer heal up. But here comes the Toxic. That is going to be the key play here. The Toxic is able to just kind of wear down the rest of Claire's Pokemon. I don't know what she's going to do here. I really, really don't. Kingdra getting some recovery from the Leftovers though, but now the Toxic will start to take into effect, and now the Blissey's just getting recovery turn after turn. This is very, very dangerous, not to mention Kingdra's Hydro Pump is relatively low accuracy as well. So it is going to go for the Ice Beam here, getting a little bit higher accuracy, perhaps the chance to freeze, but again, the Blissey does have Heal Bell, and is now just going for the Flamethrower just to try to get some chip damage off, adding some insult to injury here. Hey guys, so from the future here, just wanted to butt in because we have a huge stall war on our hands. I know you guys don't want to see something like that. The Kingdra versus the Blissey, basically 2 very bulky Pokemon going at it head-to-head for a little while here. And again, the main thing here was Claire was just trying to stall out that Blissey Soft-Boiled, the power points of course, but it did not work out very well. The Kingdra did end up going down, and now Claire has to send out her Charizard, perhaps one of her last chances to be able to actually stall out those power points. So let's get back into the match. And here comes now the Charizard on Claire's side of the field, but it will get absolutely obliterated by those Stealth Rocks already at half health. This is very dangerous. Charizard does have Focus Blast, but it misses. That's the problem, is it is very low accuracy. That's the problem here. But Blissey now getting some more soft-boiled recovery. It will be at full health. This is so dangerous. That Focus Blast could have been good if it had landed, but now the Charizard has to go for Roost, try and heal itself up a little bit, but it won't have much time, of course, if the Toxic does come. Let's see. Yes, the Toxic on the Charizard now. Now, Charizard definitely not as bulky as Kingdra. Will go down faster, that is for sure. But of course, it does have Focus Blast, perhaps doing a little bit more damage than the Kingdra could have. But let's see if it can actually hit the attack so we can see how much this does. Here comes the Focus Blast. It will connect this time. It all depends how much this does. Oh, maybe a little bit more than a third damage on that Blissey. The Blissey now going for Flamethrower. So perhaps Whitney's starting to realize what Claire's trying to do, stall out that soft-boiled so she can maybe send out the Dragonite and try to finish it off. But now, the Focus Blast does have very low accuracy. Charizard's going to have to hit a few of them in a row to make any sort of dent to make sure that the Blissey actually goes for soft-boiled. So here comes another Focus Blast. It does hit. Let's see. She might have to hope for a crit too, but no. No critical hit on the Blissey. Charizard losing some HP each turn, both from the Life Orb and Blissey attacking it, and of course the Toxic. So this is going to be over very quickly, especially with that soft-boiled. But again, making sure to have that Blissey use soft-boiled as much as possible to try and stall it out. But now the Charizard looks like, oh man, it looks like it might survive one more turn perhaps, maybe not after Life Orb. Here comes a Focus Blast. It does hit again. So that is a very good sign. But bringing Blissey right to about half, and it'll have even more health after the leftovers. Blissey now going for the Flamethrower on the Charizard, bringing it down to 20 HP. I think the Toxic will actually finish it off on this turn. This is not good at all for Claire. Let's see. Yes, the Charizard going down. Oh man, now all of a sudden Claire has one more opportunity with the Dragonite. Now the Blissey does have a little bit of damage on it. She's kind of timed it well, but the stone's digging into the Dragonite and it is poisoned, of course. Here comes the outrage. It all comes down to this. Will it finish the Blissey off? No! Oh, that looks like 1 HP! No, the Blissey going for the soft-boiled again! And it will get, of course, the leftovers recovery. In addition to that, Blissey surviving on what must have been something like 1 HP. Of course, it does have a very high HP stat. Maybe it was something like 30, but the Dragonite getting hurt by poison, it might have one more turn to operate here. Dragonite going for outrage, perhaps just hoping for something like a high roll. Oh, it did it! It did it! There's no way! The Dragonite taking down the Blissey with what must have been a high roll. Unbelievable at the end. The Dragonite actually pulling through. The clutch outrage taking down Whitney's last Pokemon, the Blissey, which was causing immense trouble. My word, I don't believe what I just saw. I did not think the Dragonite had that at all. Its previous attack couldn't even do it. And the Blissey looked like it might have been even a little bit higher health. Man, oh man, what an attack. Claire taking the battle 1-0 over Whitney. Just barely scraping through that Blissey to make it to the next round. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the next matches. Before we go, I'd like to thank the patrons who are making this tournament possible. If you guys want to help further this series' potential and support it, the link to my Patreon page will be in the description below. That's all for this one. This has been SilphSpectre, and I'll see you guys next time for more True Power.